A lot of indie devs sacrifice blood, sweat, and tears to make their dream game only to post it online and be completely ignored. You can have a brilliant game where you put a lot of time and effort, but this is not always enough. It can still fade into the void. So how do you avoid this? How can you build hype for your game and a loyal fan base way before your game launches to make sure it doesn't flop? Hey friend, Kyle here. For those who don't know me, I am a solo indie game developer and I am currently working on my dream horror game. It's a survival horror game called Silent Corruption. And in this channel, I share everything I learned along the way, hard lessons learned, tips and tools to help you make progress on your own game. If you're making a game too, you're in the right place. Most indie devs think that marketing your game is a complicated and difficult task that you usually do when you finish your game. So they ignore it and leave it until last minute. But instead of building excitement, they come off as annoying and desperate, pushing potential fans away even before they had the chance to see if they actually like the game. But the truth is, marketing is so much more than just promoting. It starts with creating a strong brand for your game, your studio, or yourself as a developer, long before the game is even playable. And without that foundation, all your efforts will be wasted. So how do you develop a strong brand and market your game without turning into a spammy developer everybody scrolls past? Like most indie devs, I hated that idea. I didn't want to be the annoying person flooding the feeds with random posts. So then I started researching what game marketing was really about and what successful indie devs were doing, and I realized that I needed to create a strong brand even though I was still working on my demo. So I started working on my logo, choosing my brand colors, I work on my website, and I tried to pick a good username. And I was constantly changing my name, changing my logo, and changing the colors because none of it was really clicking. And it wasn't really clicking because I was focusing on the wrong things. I thought that a branding was about focusing on your aesthetics, like the logo or the colors of the website, but it's not really about that. So one day I stopped obsessing about how my logo looked or what name did I have, and I asked myself, what do I want people to feel when they look at my content or when they see something about my game or something that I post? And that is when things started to finally click, because when I had that clear, everything I posted, all my logos, all my content, my website started to feel like me. Everything matched my vision and personality, and it finally started to connect. But this didn't happen overnight. It took me a million times until I finally realized what was my identity. If you're a solo dev with no budget for marketing, start building your brand early. Seriously, don't wait. The earlier you put yourself out there, the more chances the people will have to discover your game. And this is so much better than panic spamming your game on day launch and then wondering why nobody cares about your game. And don't worry about having everything figured out on day one. You can build your brand as you build your game. So just try things, you can mess them up and change your mind a million times because it's completely normal. Just keep tweaking your vibes, your tone, until you finally find something that feels like you, because everything you try and doesn't work will get you closer to the things that do. And something very important for your branding is to stay consistent. Use the same logos, the same colors, the same tone everywhere you post, whether it's your website, Steam page, social posts, everywhere you post. And when people start recognizing you or your game just by a single screenshot or a single post, it's when you know that you have a strong brand. A lot of indie devs get overwhelmed because they think they have to be posting everywhere on Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, Reddit, YouTube, Discord, Carrier Pigeon. But the truth is, if you try to post everywhere, it's going to be too much. It's going to kill your momentum and you're going to burn out very fast. Because if you try to post everywhere, you're going to spend too much time on social media instead of working on your game. And you're going to create half-assed posts that nobody cares about just for the sake of posting. So how do you actually market your game without having to turn into a full-time social media manager? When I first started working on Silent Corruption, I thought that I had to be everywhere to be able to promote my game. So I created accounts in every platform that I could think of, and I tried to post on all of them every day. But managing all those accounts drained my energy so much. And also because I wasn't working in my game that much, I didn't really have much to share, and I felt like my posts were really repetitive and not very interesting at all, and they barely had any views or engagement. That's when I realized I wasn't spreading myself too thin, and that was killing my progress. So instead, I decided to focus on 1 to 2 platforms that I like the most. In my case, YouTube and Blue Sky. And I also post on Threads because I just cross-post what I write for Blue Sky and I posted on Threads at the same time. And I also do like weekly live streams where I work on my game, but there are like silent live streams where I don't work and just working on my game with chill music on the background. And this is also a way to share my game in a way that doesn't burn me out. So basically focusing on these 2-3 platforms and staying consistent is how I avoid burning out on social media. And honestly, I enjoy the process a lot more because I am posting on my own terms, and I also have time to work on my game every week, which is really what I wanted. So as a solo dev, the most important thing you need to manage is your energy and your time, because these are your most precious resources. Social media is a double-edged. It's very good to build an audience, but it also can drain you very fast. And many indie devs fall into the trap of thinking that they have to post everywhere and all the time. But if this isn't really something you can do, you shouldn't do it. Instead, focus on choosing 1 to 3 platforms that you really enjoy and you like using, and then post as much as you can. If it's every day, every 2 or 3 days, or even once a week, that's fine. Just post as much as you feel like you can without burning out. Because the key is not to just post a lot no matter what, it's to stay consistent. And you're not missing out because you're not everywhere in all the platforms. You're just using where to put your energy wisely. And this way is also so much easier to build genuine connections with your potential players or other game developers or people that may help you along the way. So basically focus on being consistent rather than trying to post much more than what you can handle. Quick thing before we continue, don't forget to like and subscribe because that really helps the channel and it helps other indie developers find these videos. Thank you very much! Even if you post a lot on social media and you start building an audience, you can still suffer from the mighty algorithm. Your posts can either go viral or tank and have no views for no apparent reason. And this unpredictability means that you can never be sure if your fans are going to see all your updates. And even worse than that, if the rules in this platform change or the platform disappears overnight, which has been the case, so does your followers and your audience. So even though social media is a very good place to put yourself out there and start connecting with people, it can also be a scary place. So how can you take control of your audience to make sure that your fans see all your updates without leaving it to chance or the algorithm? When I started working on my game, my main platform was Twitter. And as you know, Twitter was actually really good a few years ago. And I started posting about my game, about my projects, about the things that I was doing, and I was actually getting some followers and my account was growing more or less at a steady pace. But then the change came, the one we all know about, and I realized that the followers I was acquiring weren't really mine because they rely on whoever was running the show on the platform. And I realized that I was in a borrowed space and none of the followers or the engagement I was getting really belonged to me, and I had no control over it. So that's when I decided to create my own website to post there updates and any other things that were on my mind to make sure that all the information was in a place that I could fully control. So my website initially started as a blog. I was just posting random updates about my game, the journey and my game, and eventually I also added a newsletter so I could gather my followers and the people that were interested in what I was doing and in my game in a place that was very easy to communicate, and I knew for sure that my message was gonna reach them. In my case, I am using WordPress for my website because I have a background on game design and web design, and it's something that I already knew how to use and I was very comfortable with. So if you're a game developer, especially if you're a solo game developer, don't rely on building your audience just in social media. You need to have your own website or your own space where you have full control and you can make sure that your message will always reach your fans. And that also goes for the Steam page. The Steam page can send a message when you launch your game or when you discount your game, but if you want to send other type of message to your followers, you don't have that much control. So I recommend that once you start growing a following, you create your own newsletter. Like, you don't even need to send newsletter regularly. You can just gather emails or whatever the information you need that people are consenting to give to you. And whenever you're ready to talk with these people, you have the option to do it. And you know that your message or whatever you need to say to them is gonna reach them. There are so many options that are free or very affordable that is really silly not to do it, because it's a missed opportunity to be able to talk to your fans directly. If you enjoyed this video, you're going to love this one over here, which is all about how to know if your game idea is any good or if it is bad. See you there. Bye.